to the TokyoBill Weekly Update, news on Japan of interest to me, TokyoBill. In this week's news, arrests made in high-profile gang courier thefts, rising oil prices start a discussion on toilet paper shortages, and Donald Trump jokes about Pearl Harbor to Japan Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, and more. Tokyo police arrested 7 individuals on Saturday, including one known member of the Yamaguchi-gumi crime syndicate, in connection with a January robbery involving over 400 million yen, approximately $2.6 million. The incident occurred on January 29th when a group of Japanese and Chinese nationals carrying 3 suitcases of cash was attacked by assailants using a pepper spray-like substance in Taito Ward, Tokyo. The attackers fled in a minivan after snatching the suitcases. Subsequent to this, another robbery attempt occurred about 2.5 hours later at Haneda Airport, where a group carrying around 190 million yen was assaulted, though the assailants did not secure the money. One victim was later robbed of approximately 51 million yen after arriving in Hong Kong, leading to the arrest of 4 individuals there. Authorities are investigating potential links between the 2 incidents. The parents of Yoshihiro Hattori, who was fatally shot in the United States in 1992, received an anonymous donation of 10 million yen, around $63,000, for the Yoshi Fund, which they created to support international students. The cash, wrapped in newspaper, was left in their yard on Halloween Day last year with a note from the anonymous donor. Treated as lost property, the money became available last month and was added to the fund. The Yoshi Fund, established in 1993, aims to invite American students to Japan to experience a gun-free society, having so far supported 34 exchange students. The donation enables the program to continue for at least 5 more years, a welcome relief considering their general funding challenges. Yoshihiro's mother, Mieko, expressed gratitude for the contribution and emphasized the importance of advocating against gun violence. Approaching the wrong house for a Halloween party, Yoshihiro was mistaken for a masked intruder and killed by the homeowner. A protest march advocating for the rights of foreign workers in Japan took place around Ueno Park on Sunday, attracting 350 participants. This annual March in March demonstration began in 1993 to highlight issues surrounding foreign workers' rights and working conditions. Concerns about discrimination have risen, particularly following the July 2025 House of Councilors election. Yumiko Nakajima, chair of the National Union of General Workers Tokyo Nambu, noted an increase in consultations from foreign union members regarding discriminatory treatment. Protesters, led by a samba group, displayed placards opposing hate and explaining how foreign workers are contributing to society, while the organizing committee continues to promote a multi-ethnic and multicultural society through their No to Hate campaign. Amid U.S. and Israeli military actions against Iran, concerns about a potential toilet paper shortage have emerged in Japan due to rising oil prices and panic buying warnings. Social media users have cautioned about possible price hikes and empty shelves, drawing parallels to past oil shocks. However, the Japan Household Paper Industry Association assures that there are no issues with sourcing or supply, as 60% of raw materials are derived from recycled paper, with no imports from the Middle East. Executive Managing Director Morio Ishizuka emphasized the importance of purchasing only necessary amounts and advised against feeling anxiety with misinformation. Past instances of panic leading to such shortages did in fact happen during the 1973 oil shock and, more recently, the COVID-19 pandemic. A Japanese court ruled that the law banning women from voluntary sterilization merits discussion yet remains constitutional. 5 women had challenged this law, asserting it infringes on their bodily autonomy and imposes motherhood on them, leading one, Kazane Kajiya, to seek sterilization in the U.S. to bypass Japan's stringent rules. Currently, women face prison or fines for undergoing sterilization without spousal consent, allowable only under specific circumstances. Judge Masahiro Kaman dismissed the case, arguing that the law is constitutional as other contraceptive methods exist, but highlighted its irrationality, advocating for dialogue on the issue. Attorney Michiko Kameishi voiced disappointment towards the court's view on sterilization as merely about contraception. Ms. Kajiya took the ruling as a progressive step to reforming Japan's maternity protection law. Japan's Environment Ministry has, for the first time, removed the red-crowned crane, or Japanese crane, from its list of threatened species, downgrading its status to near threatened due to a population recovery. The population, which had plummeted to 33 in 1952 from overhunting, now stands at approximately 1,200 adults in the wild, benefiting from concerted conservation efforts. Additionally, the ministry has reclassified the crested ibis from critically endangered to endangered, following successful reintroduction initiatives on Sado Island in Niigata Prefecture. The latest assessment, updated approximately every 5 years since 1991, revealed an increase in the number of threatened species, which rose by 22 to a total of 204, including the addition of the dunlin, a migratory sandpiper. In an innovative approach to address Tokyo's pigeon problem, a small company is testing the effectiveness of cat images with shiny metal eyes to deter birds. Following a previous experiment at Shinjuku Station, where a 40% decrease in pigeons was noted, the current installation features photographs of cats with metallic eyes positioned at train stations. The unique feature is the metal cutting technique, which creates a highly reflective surface, reminiscent of animal eyes in the dark. While initial trials with other animal images failed, the cat photos led to a notable reduction in pigeons. The company is considering commercializing these repellent eyes. However, experts warn that while shiny objects may deter pigeons initially, they suggest that more permanent solutions like physical barriers are ultimately necessary. Russia's defense ministry reported on Tuesday that MiG-31 fighter jets carrying Kinzhal hypersonic missiles conducted planned flights over international waters in the Sea of Japan, which included air-to-air refueling practices. This announcement, unusual for Russia, was accompanied by a video showcasing the fighter jet's takeoff and refueling maneuvers. The ministry asserted that these flights complied with international law. The Kinzhal missile, characterized by a maximum speed of Mach 10, is among 6 new weapons introduced by President Vladimir Putin in 2018. It has been used against Ukrainian military targets since March 2022. Analysts interpret this display of military capability as a means for Russia to assert power and deter Japan and the United States. Let's take a short pause. In case you're wondering, I started the TokyoBill to write about the local craft beer scene, and then included news articles on Japan that I personally found interesting, not just the big stories carried by the mainstream media. If you like what you're hearing but want further information, please visit theTokyoBill.com for links to the original articles. Thanks, and now back to this week's news. The increasing appeal of Japanese literature is being noticed, as evidenced at the London Book Fair 2026 this week. The fair showcased a variety of Japanese works and noted an upswing in interest, particularly in the United Kingdom, where in 2024 Japanese titles constituted nearly half of the top 40 translated fiction works. One title, Asako Yuzuki's Butter, became the best-seller of the year at bookstore chain Waterstones. Attendees remarked on Japanese literature's emphasis on deep critical thought and its distinctive use of language, providing a fluidity not found in European literature. Akutagawa Prize-winning author Tomoka Shibasaki commented on the importance of translation, emphasizing it as a nuanced communication process beyond mere word substitution, vital for conveying the original work's style and voice. Japan's health department has designated cannabinol, CBN, as a designated drug, resulting in a prohibition on its manufacture, import, sale, and use effective June 1st, with limited exceptions for medical needs. Consequently, CBN products, including gummies, cookies, oils, and vapes, will be removed from the market. Individuals suffering from specific severe diseases without other treatment options are permitted to use CBN. Consumers with existing CBN products must dispose of them by the ban's enforcement date. CBN is produced through the oxidation of THC and differs chemically from cannabidiol, CBD, which remains legal in Japan if it does not contain THC. CBN is primarily sought for health benefits, particularly for improving sleep, alleviating pain, promoting relaxation, and aiding individuals with severe epilepsy. Researchers have discovered all 5 canonical nucleobases in sand samples from the asteroid Ryugu, collected by the Japanese Hayabusa 2 probe. Such nucleobases are considered canonical in that they form the bases for RNA and DNA genetic codes. This finding, published in Nature Astronomy, supports the theory that life's origins on Earth were influenced by extraterrestrial materials. The analysis indicated that, along with uracil, previously identified, the samples also contained adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. This discovery aligns with findings from asteroid Bennu in 2023, suggesting essential substances for heredity may form in space. Comparisons to an 1864 meteorite indicate that the proportions of nucleobases may vary based on environmental ammonia levels. Researchers aim to understand the mechanisms by which these life-essential nucleobases form in space and exist everywhere. In other science news, table corals have been found at Sajima Fishing Port in Kanagawa Prefecture, extending their northern habitat limit in Japan by about 30 kilometers beyond previously known locations. The species, primarily found in warmer waters around Taiwan and Okinawa, has been studied by Rikyo University researchers who noted that these corals are likely migrating north due to stress tolerance. 3 healthy colonies of different species of Acropora were collected and are growing at low temperatures, suggesting exceptional resilience, though outside Tokyo Bay where the waters are likely not clean enough. The researchers plan to investigate this migration further with funding from the Osumi Frontier Science Foundation. Findings were published in Galaxia, Journal of Coral Reef Studies. Capcom Cup 12, held at Tokyo's Ryogoku Kokugikan Sumo Arena from March 11th to 15th, attracted a record 20,000 viewers. Japanese player Sahara, in his professional debut, claimed the individual title and $1 million by defeating France's Kilzu 5-1 in the final. Sahara's victory also qualifies him for Capcom Cup 13 and the Esports World Cup 2026 in Saudi Arabia. The event featured 48 top players, with all semi-finalists born in the 2000s. The Japanese team Reject won the team competition, marking a double victory for Japan. Sahara's rise began in 2024 during a live stream with VTuber Kuzuha and led to his joining the Good 8 Squad Pro Team in 2025. US President Donald Trump got some giggles from the room at the expense of visiting Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, following a question by a Japanese reporter. Asked about a lack of warning over US actions against Iran, Trump pointed out Japan's mastery of surprise, jokingly asking Takaichi, "Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?" This comment caused overt discomfort for the Prime Minister, but despite the tense exchange, Takaichi managed to maintain composure. While the Second World War is a historically sensitive matter, the two countries have since focused on reconciliation. Before the visit, Takaichi expressed concerns over their discussions, particularly regarding Japan's hesitation over Iran. Ultimately, she informed Trump about Japan's potential support related to the Strait of Hormuz blockade, which has impacted global oil prices. And that brings us to the end of this week's news roundup. Once again, your visit to theTokyoBill.com would be greatly appreciated. I've been, and remain, Tokyo Bill. Thank you for listening, and take care.